The time is ticking down. 6ix9ine is set to meet his fate one way or another in regards to his long-standing court case, and more signs point to him being released. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. So where are we right now?
Recall earlier this week, headlines spread that all charges against Tekashi would be dropped and he would be set free today.
So what exactly is going on with the case right now against 6ix9ine? Well, right now we're waiting for him to get his sentencing, which is a lot closer than you might expect. Many eyes of the world are on this case for reasons both fair and personal. Many are hoping that 6ix9ine gets out, while many are thinking that he'll get locked up for at least a little while longer. The debate right now is which outcome will happen and why it'll go that way. Signs are pointing to 6ix9ine getting free, but that's just speculation based on his legal team and the words of others who are tied to this case in one form or another. For example, there's a defense attorney known as Mo. He works in New York City and he's been sharing information about the 6ix9ine case when he can. To be clear, he's not an attorney on this case, rather he is just getting information. In his mind, based on what he knows from the inside and out, 6ix9ine could get released by Wednesday, December 18th.
Oh, it looks like a lot of reports are claiming that Tekashi 6ix9ine might be coming home from jail in the next couple of days.
Look for Tekashi to get out this Wednesday, December 18th with a sentence of time served. He's likely to have served just under 1 year in federal prison. The way federal sentencing works, the government tells the judge what sentencing the person should get. Here, the government hasn't asked for any sentencing, and when they do that, what they're saying is time served. In the Southern District of New York, judges almost always go with the recommendation of the probation department, especially when the probation department and the defense attorney are both recommending the same thing. Here, the probation department and 6ix9ine's defense attorney both say time served. There's absolutely no reason a judge will give anything other than time served. Look for Tekashi to be out this Wednesday. Of course, that's just his opinion on the matter and should not be taken as gospel. Then again, he is an attorney, and it's clear he has a pulse on this case in some regard. So it would be fair, given his experience and connection to the case in a loose way, to think that he's honestly not lying, nor is he biased on the situation. He even went and put his thoughts on Instagram so people could see he wasn't just making a random statement on the matter. But again, this is just one opinion on the matter, and it's not the factual truth, or at least, not yet it isn't. Trust me when I say though, this is just the beginning of a can of worms that's coming out via the sentencing trial that approaches. The plea deal from 6ix9ine.
They both are looking at years behind bars. 6ix9ine was famously arrested in November 2018 and turned state's witness a day later.
If you can believe it, it gets even weirder than that. 6ix9ine is apparently so desperate to get out of jail that he and his family and friends have submitted letters to the judge to try and get in their good graces and thus allow for a lesser sentence to be put upon him. Check out part of what he wrote. As my sentencing date approaches, I am becoming more and more overwhelmed with emotions. More than anything, I am extremely grateful for this opportunity to express my remorse to you, Your Honor. Over this situation, 6ix9ine began. He went on to say that there is no excuse, no justification, and no apology good enough in this world to explain his crimes, adding he spent the last year reflecting on the mess he made, asking himself if his bad decisions were all worth it. I know that my life will never be the same, but hopefully this change will be for the better, because beyond all of this, I still consider myself a role model to millions of people as an artist, a celebrity, and as a human being. I am happy that the public was able to witness me dealing with the consequences of my actions, because I feel it sheds light on what can come from gang affiliation, he continued. How does that sound to you? Oh, you want more? How about him acknowledging that he made a mistake to join and work with the 9 Trey Bloods? I now know that I am remorseful for what happened, because I was blessed with the gift of an opportunity that most people dream of, but I squandered it by getting involved with the wrong people and misrepresented myself when I should have been true to myself and my fans. 6ix9ine admitted. So we really have to talk about this. I mean, come on. We can all see through this, right? We can all see how this is just a literal desperate attempt to win favor with a judge that literally controls his fate in his hands. What's that? You want me to break down all the bullets in the letter? It would be my pleasure. The remorse of 6ix9ine. It's being said that 6ix9ine is nervous going into his upcoming sentencing hearing, and to be quite honest with you, he should feel nervous with every fiber in his being, because whether he wants to admit it in public or not, he has done terrible things, got arrested by the FBI for legitimate reasons, and would be facing a very justified sentence if he's convicted and sentenced to jail time, even if it's only for a year or so. Yet if you believe his letter, which you should know better by now, you'd see and hear that he is clearly remorseful for all that he's done, that he regrets being a part of the dangerous group of the 9 Trey Bloods, and that he's trying to atone and be a role model for all the young people out there that need inspiration. This is all clearly a ruse, a bad one at that, as if we can't see just how stupid this whole act is. The problem with 6ix9ine trying to play the repentful card is that we know he's not repenting. He's just trying to play the victim and get a lesser sentence because of it, which is dumb because we literally have scores of evidence that show that 6ix9ine isn't just guilty of sin, but many of his sins were by his own hands. So it's kind of hard to have remorse when you're clearly lying about yourself, what you've done, and who you've harmed along the way. And for the record, some of the crimes that he's guilty of came before his time with the 9 Trey Bloods, and one assault incident didn't involve a rival group. It involved a fan who was just trying to take some video of the rapper, yet 6ix9ine thought it was better to choke him out when he refused to delete the footage off the phone. Oh yeah, such a nice guy. Which brings me to the other section of that letter he sent to the judge. I'm truly sorry for the harm that I've caused. If given a second chance, I will not let this court down, and I will dedicate a portion of my life to helping others not make the same mistakes that I've made. You hear the contradiction in that statement? Here's a hint, it's second chance. 6ix9ine is not on his second chance, he's technically on his 5th or 6th, depending on how you view things, which means that not only did he lie to a judge, he's delusional in thinking that this is his only offense that he's committed in his life. So how can you have remorse when you think that you've done nothing truly wrong up to this point?
Did you want to win any of these items on the screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right back into the video.
The many crimes of 6ix9ine.
You know what I'm saying? You know, girls lie about ages. Everyone knows this, right?
She was 14.
A lot of people get caught up in this, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've written several videos here on King Trending of the crimes that 6ix9ine has committed during his life, so we'll keep it short, mainly because the proof speaks for itself that he's not remorseful, he's just trying to weasel out of his sentencing. When he was younger, 6ix9ine, before he was 6ix9ine to be clear, got arrested for selling illegal substances. That was his first jail offense, but not his last, and it was just the first in a long line of arrests for the controversial rapper. Such as when he decided to try and make a controversial video in order to beef up his cred, and he unintentionally invited some underage girls to do some explicit stuff in the video, which by the way is very, very illegal. He was arrested for said exploits, but his defense of "I didn't know they were underage" was enough to get him a plea deal. This came with several stipulations, some of which he completed, others of which he did not. So if you're keeping score, that's already 1 second chance that he blew. As mentioned a little bit ago, his streak of bad behavior came when he assaulted a fan in Houston, Texas. He even fled the state to try and get out of it, until he was arrested in New York for driving without a license, and flown back to Texas because they had an outstanding warrant on him. So he would face charges. He was dead to rights until the actual victim in the case changed his testimony and asked the judge to not punish him. Weird and convenient? Screams of a payoff, don't you think? And this was just the stuff we knew he did on his own. This isn't counting the various stuff that he did for the 9 Trey Bloods, including ordering attacks on fellow rappers that he considered rivals, one of which was severely injured in the attack that he ordered. So how is he supposed to be remorseful when it was he who ordered the attack? Remind me of that again? And while not a crime, let's not forget that he would sing about how he was a member of the 9 Trey Bloods whenever he had a mic in his hands. So much so that people believed he was faking trying to be in the group to get cred, when the truth was much worse. Thus he can't really be sorry about being in the group when it was clear he was proud about it enough to put it in his songs, and by his own admission, putting members of the 9 Trey Bloods in the background of his music videos. So 6ix9ine is spinning a mighty web of lies, and it's up to the judge in this case to see right through them, for all our sakes. But it does raise a certain question. Why are the prosecutors and the FBI asking for his release?
However, the rapper and around 30 others close to him wrote letters to the judge begging for mercy with hopes that this
is a little bit more about politics than anything else. Because you see, while it's true that 6ix9ine was justifiably arrested by the FBI in 2018, it's also true that in 2019, both the FBI and official prosecutors were asking that the minimum sentence of 47 years based on crimes I'll get to be reduced heavily, even going so far as to ask for time served to be his punishment, which in total would be like a year and a day. How does that happen? How does it go from lock him up to set him free? That's simple. He was arrested with a group of people and he snitched on said people. That earned him some goodwill. Let's rewind a bit, shall we? In 2019, the FBI started to make a plan to arrest not just 6ix9ine, but a majority of the 9 Trey Bloods on a large number of crimes, including possession, illegal enterprise, and more. Many of these charges had serious sentences in terms of jail time, and 2 of them had life sentences if convicted upon. The FBI had a lot of evidence in their back pocket, but witness testimony is almost always a better option, and so 6ix9ine decided to go from arrestee to snitch in order to get a deal and possibly get out of jail sooner. And to the surprise of many, 6ix9ine was honestly a really good snitch. So much so that at the time of this writing, all other members of the 9 Trey Bloods that were arrested with him have either already been sentenced to a number of years in prison or are convicted and awaiting their sentencing, like 6ix9ine is right now. Not to mention, via his testimony over the course of 7 to 9 months, he provided key insights into the workings of the 9 Trey Bloods, including his own personal role in the group, how he got them money, increased their power, and so on and so forth. So whether we want to admit it or not, 6ix9ine actually did a really good job, and he honestly fulfilled his part of the deal, and then some. As for why the prosecution is willing to give him the minimum sentence that they can, it's likely that they don't see him as a threat. It's not like a mob kind of deal where a snitch would possibly get their bosses taken away so that they could run the operation themselves. 6ix9ine isn't that skilled and smart, especially since he's been outed as a snitch. He's made his intentions clear that he wants to get back to rapping, and in the eyes of the law, that's enough reason to cut him loose since he likely won't cause more trouble. The real threats in the 9 Trey Bloods arrestees have been taken care of, so why keep another guy in jail? All in all, it's a matter of paperwork and publicity, and so the prosecution is looking to cut him loose and focus on the more important tasks at hand. What is justice here?
Tekashi 6ix9ine dropped and he's getting out in 72 hours. That's fake news.
It's fun how in a system where we're supposed to ask about justice, that we don't always ask what is the path of justice. Given everything that has gone on in this case, what exactly is justice here? Is it to reward a man who has snitched on those that were his brothers in arms, or is it to punish a man who has helped the system put bad people away? On the surface, both statements seem contradictory, but if you look deeper, you see the real truth, the real justice shines through. What does that mean? Well, it means that 6ix9ine over the course of his entire career has shown his character, his quality, and how he treats people. In short, he uses them, abuses them, and then when they're no use to him anymore, he gets rid of them. There's plenty of proof of that too, such as with his ex-girlfriend, who was also the mother of his child. He forced himself upon her multiple times, and he had so little respect for her after they broke up that he didn't even warn her about the 9 Trey Bloods coming after her and their child after he turned snitch. Thankfully, they didn't come for her, but they could have. Oh, and about those 9 Trey Bloods, he went to them in order to make it big in the industry. He cut a deal with them that he would get the money and other things in return for helping him rise up, and he did everything they wanted, for a time. Then he started to throw his weight around like he owned the place, which ticked the group off, and he was so over them that he fired his entire street crew from the group a mere 2 weeks before the arrest by the FBI. And of course he snitched on them the first chance he got, so there's that. Add that to his numerous statements he's made over the years, the way he would troll people to try and get clout, the numerous disses and remarks he would make about his fellow rappers, and you can see that 6ix9ine is not a nice guy. He cares about one thing, himself, and he'll do whatever it takes to protect himself. Whether it's betraying people, snitching on them to get a deal with the government, whatever it takes, nothing is below him. So what is the path of justice? To show him that just because you do a good deed doesn't mean it gets rewarded the way you think? I'm not saying he should get the 47 years that he could get because of his plea deal arrangement, where he had to plead guilty to 9 charges, but I think he should at least get a couple more years in jail. Prove to him that you can't cover up what you've done, and just because you're sorry now doesn't make up for what you did then. What now? The hardest thing to do in this world is wait, and yet that's exactly what we have to do right now. We have to wait for things to come to pass. We have to wait to see what happens with 6ix9ine, and we have to wait and see whether he'll get set free or he'll be put in prison for some time. If he's set free, he's going to go back to his rap career. He's even got a $10 million deal contract waiting for him, alongside with his girlfriend Jade. If he's locked up, a lot of people will feel good that the snitch got a stitch, or something of the like. But which outcome will happen? We'll find out very soon. And there you have it, a look at 6ix9ine, his current situation, what he might be getting in his sentencing hearing, and the truth behind his pleas to the judge. What do you think will happen in the sentencing hearing? Is 6ix9ine getting out? Will he be remanded to custody? Or will something else entirely happen? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe. I'm King Trending, and I'll see you next time.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.